happen if you take B-movie monster movies and old rock and roll, rockabilly, punk rock, and mash them all together, pour some LSD on it, you will get the cramps. That's what we're talking about today, man. Keep in mind, I will be talking about a history before I do this because I didn't do it with my Nirvana video because, let's face it, everybody I think knows, or at least half of people knows the history of Nirvana. But with that said, I want to do it for the Cramps because that's a different story with the Cramps. Sadly, I don't think the Cramps really got their due like most people would. You know what I mean? I think the Cramps need it much better than what they got. But they were happy, and, by the time Lux died, sadly, he lived a happy life. And I think the Cramps is a good example of of a band and people, just do it. If you want to make a band, do it. If you want to do something what no one else is doing, do it. If it doesn't catch on, so what? At least you made it. You know what I mean? So, the Cramps, before I set this top 10, the Cramps was the brainchild of both, Lux Interior. I don't know his real name, and kind of refuse to look him up because honestly, it's Lux for me. You know what I mean? Lux Interior and Poison Ivy. But before they met, Lux was born in the 40s, somewhere in the 40s. He grown up on 50s pop culture. He was born a heavy Catholic. He didn't really agree with it too much. But, so he kind of got lost in this kind of escapism of weird 50s pop culture, including rock and roll. But more specifically, the more rebellious side of rock and roll, a type of music you couldn't hear because it was the devil's music, right? So he got into people like Charlie Fetters, he got into people like, he liked the more mainstream stuff too, like he liked Chuck Berry and Little Richard and Elvis and stuff, and of course Jerry Lee Lewis. But he was more into the more darker underbelly of rock and roll. You would watch this guy called the Big Mad Daddy or something like that, which he would play a lot of weird rock and roll stuff. And he got into that. But on the other hand, you got Poison Ivy, who was also born somewhere in the 40s. She liked a lot of pretty much the same stuff, actually. She got into surf music as a kid. Her brother was a guitarist. He taught her a couple licks off the guitar. Going a little further a little bit, in the 60s, Lux had to move from his hometown because, keep in mind, this was the Vietnam War time. He did not want to get drafted, like most people wouldn't. So he kind of went to a shaman college, a shamanistic college, right? Where they practice a bunch of rituals and all that stuff. This was the 60s. So basically they met, him and Poison Ivy. She was hitchhiking, picked him up, fall in love. Wow, I really love this girl. It turns out they had the same interests in different things, including music. In the 70s, they moved to New York, and they decided to mix, because at first they wanted to be more like the New York Dolls. But it turns out the New York glam rock was cool and all, but wasn't them. So they decided they're going to take what they like about the New York Dolls, but put it in the more rockabilly edge. And what came out was great music. So, history out of the way, let's do my top 10 favorite Cramp songs. Number 10, The Human Fly. I know this is one of their bigger songs, but let me tell you something. The Human Fly is just a great song. Influenced by the movie The Fly, not the 80s one, but, the 50s one, the one from the 50s. They were really inspired by that kind of cult movie stuff. So they wanted to fit it in. And what it sounds like to me is actually like a more crazier version of the novelty song of the late 50s, early 60s. Like Monster Mass or something, but just crazy and psychic and really psychedelic-y. I like it. It's pretty cool. I'll put all these songs in the description, by the way. Number 9, The Ultra Tris. Okay, The Ultra Tris, it's kind of lower on the list, to be honest, because even though it's a great, super great song, it is a little repetitive, but it's probably why I like it, even though I can see why people wouldn't like it too much. Not repetitive in the lyrics too much, more repetitive in the... I guess you can make the argument, since they're borrowing from rockabilly, what is most likely a repetitive genre. You can always make the argument that all their songs are kind of repetitive in tone. But this is a great song, and I really like the repetitiveness of it. I can just see why people would probably get sick of it, but I don't. But, I don't know. I tried to be fair on this list. I don't just try to be all fan person about it. Number 8, Garbage Man. Garbage Man is just a great rebellious song. Okay, all their songs are great rebellious songs, but this more so. It has a really heavy lift, and it's just really great. Number 7, Creature from the Black Water Lagoon. Another great rebellious song. Just a great monster song, really, though. I mean, they wrote a bunch of monster songs before, but I feel like this is the best one. That and what else is about to come up on this list. Wait, link. But basically, this is just a great song. Number 6, God Monster. Another great monster song. Now, I know what you're thinking. You may think they don't have a lot of substance in their songs, but that's what makes it fun. You don't necessarily need to have a bunch of substance in there. That's rock and roll, okay? Rock and roll is never meant to be, space or, all that stuff. It was supposed to be just fun, Number 4, Everything Goes. Kind of a really chaotic, almost, how can I put it in a family-friendly way? It's crazy, but I like it. Number 5, Some New Kind of a Kick. This is actually the first Cramps song I ever heard, and I'm glad I did, because this is a great song. It has a kick, no pun intended. And it's just a great song. I really like it. There ain't not much to say about it. But to be honest, there's not a lot to say much about these songs if they're just fun. Really. And that's why I like it, though, because it's fun. Number 3, Big Black Witchcraft Rock. It's kind of a long, convenient title, but, I really like this song. Pagan rock song. Hey, I'm in. Number 2, Wrong Way Ticket. This song is pretty much about, people going in the wrong direction, but they love it anyway. A rebellious song. Number 1, one of my favorite all-time Cramps. Excuse me. All my favorite one-time Cramps songs. TV Set. The thing about TV Set to me, it's just a great... it's just a great bluesy song, really. I know a lot of people would call it more rock and roll or rockabilly, but that's just a blues song, like hype, like amped up. I like it. So tell me, what are your favorite Cramps? I can't talk today. What's your favorite Cramps songs? Let me know down in the comments. Did you agree with my wish, by the way? Did you not? What's your favorite Cramps songs? Have a good day.